Welcome back to my series of videos on the construction of my scratch-built sand loading facility. I had really hoped to put out update videos more frequently, but life catches up to you, and it's been a while since my last video. But now I finally got the time, and I also have a bunch of progress to show. Just for a quick refresher, this is the structure that I'm building. It is the sand loading facility located at Gore, Virginia. This is what I call the side view of the facility, and then this is what I term the end view of the building. In the past, I had spent quite a while creating the design for the sand loader in my CAD software. This would be so that I would be able to get all the parts to the right size and to assist me in keeping track of the things as the build progressed. In my last video, I showed you these pieces that I had designed and cut on my laser. They make up the sides and the end pieces of the middle and lower sections of the loader bins. Finally, I started to assemble the main parts of the bins for the sand loader. I added corner brackets to support the pieces as I assembled them. I assembled the middle sections of the loader bin. First one end to one side, and then these subsections together. Once the glue on the middle sections had cured, I was able to add the lower sections of the bins to complete what would become the exposed lower sections of the loader. You can clearly see the etched lines that would serve as guides for placing the exposed beams onto the structure. Once those sections were stable, I was able to add the first 3D printed angled beams. I then moved on to adding the horizontal beams to the lower section of the bins. Then I started to add all the individual vertical beams. On the lower parts of the bin units, there were a total of 300 vertical beams to install. Once that was complete, I was able to add the long columns that hold up the entire structure. One of the big moments came when I was able to attach the two loader bin sections together to form one solid structure. I was then able to laser cut the top components for the loader and attach them to the rest of the structure. This picture shows a set of workbench supports that I built to hold the structure in place while I attached these top components, since at this point I didn't want to stress the main support columns. This picture shows the interior support pieces that I designed to give the entire structure extra rigidity. At this point, I was able to paint the middle and lower sections of the loader and start the work on the lower support beams that hold up the flooring that's under the loader bin sections. I designed and laser cut the bar grate flooring for the structure from 0.5 millimeter polyback material. The X-Acto knife shows the scale of these pieces. I then used another set of workbench supports that I built to hold the structure upright and installed all the painted flooring sections. At this point, I flipped the model back over and installed all the underfloor beams. Now is as good a time as any to bring up an issue that I have that affects my model building. I suffer from hand tremors and have for years. These tremors make installing many of the model parts anywhere from frustrating and difficult to nearly impossible, depending on how bad my tremors are on that day. If I'm tired or too stressed, the tremors get worse, but I refuse to let this hold me back. Instead, I have learned to figure out how to make jigs, supports, clamps, and other tools to allow me to hold pieces in place while various glues cure, since I can't do this just by hand. Sometimes it takes me more time to think about how to design a jig and make it than it does to actually use the jig to assemble the model parts, but that's just the way it is. These pictures show the support jig that I designed holding up a set of 5 beams that are the starting point for the lower cross braces for the main support beams. Just today, I started working on assembling the cross braces that are attached to the main support columns for the sand loader. These pictures show another support aid in use as I install the first of these cross braces between two of the main columns. The last picture shows the progress that I've made today. I have 14 more of those cross brace assemblies to build to complete that work. After I finish the cross braces, I will move on to the platforms that exist under the structure, and stairs that get down to these platforms, and the feeders for the hopper cars. Then I will move on to the stairs and platforms that allow access to the structure that exist on the end of the building. To wrap up this video, here's a picture of the sand loading structure as it exists today, April 4th, 2026, followed by a short video showing the model from all sides. I hope you enjoyed seeing my progress on this really big scratch build. If you have any questions about my work, drop me a comment and I'll try to get you an answer as soon as possible. I also hope that you will check back and see more of my progress as I continue the build. And if you want to, subscribe to the channel so you'll know when I drop new content.